We open the episode at Tia Gloria's house as we see Humberto sitting on the couch looking at the ground as Julian is walking around the room trying to figure out what had just happened to them. Okay, let me see if I can remember everything that just happened. Okay. 1 minute we're walking out of Shady Acres after Abuelo Vicente failed to tell us anything. Yep, that's correct. We're walking back here until all of a sudden a rock slide starts to drop on us. Si, senor. And then when it seems like we're about to be buried alive, Humberto's crystal thing turns his legs into the legs of a velociraptor and is able to outrun a damn rock slide. Yeah, that pretty much sums it all up. Eva, how the hell aren't you fazed by what just happened? We live in a world where aliens, gods, mutants, and wizards exist. I think my cousin's legs turning into those of a velociraptor aren't that insane to think of. But still, how was he able to do that? I'm very certain he's not a mutant. It was the crystal. Julian looks at Humberto confused. Wait, what? The crystal inside my chest was what saved us. Alright, but what even is that crystal? I'm gonna find that out now. Humberto leaves the house to find answers about the crystal. We cut to Briggs Industries as we see Jeremy Briggs in his office looking over footage of Stegron destroying his research facility and causing the rock slide. He begins to realize what is happening and gets worried. Crap. There's a knock outside his door, and when he hears it, he puts away the footage. Yes? Briggs' assistant walks in. Mr. Briggs, Humberto Lopez is here to see you. Please bring him in. Humberto walks in and he walks towards Briggs' desk. Humberto, how are you? I'm fine. I'm sorry if this is a bad time. No, it's alright. How can I help you? Well, I was wondering if it would be possible for me to get my parents' research on the crystal. Briggs' face turns from a comforting face to a confused and calmed face. Why do you need it? Well, mainly because I want to learn about the thing in my chest and maybe I can finish what my parents started. Look, I know you want to find your parents, but I have my best men looking for them and my best scientists at that dig site in New Mexico figuring out what the hell happened to you. Are you sure you can't give me anything? I'm sorry, but I can't give you any information that we don't have. Humberto looks down with a look of frustration, but brushes it off, playing it cool. Well, it was worth a shot. Thank you very much for your time, Mr. Briggs. Anytime, Humberto, and I promise you, I will update you the moment we find something on your parents' whereabouts. Thank you. Humberto and Briggs shake hands, and Humberto leaves the room. We see Jeremy Briggs give a concerned look. We cut back to Tia Gloria's house as we see Humberto, Eva, and Julian all together in Humberto's room. So he didn't give you anything? Nope. All he told me was that he had his best scientists and men on the search for my parents and figuring out what the crystal is. Well, we're back to square one. No, not entirely. What do you mean? Briggs is hiding something, and I know it has something to do with the crystal. How can you tell? I can tell by how fast he said no to not giving me the research. So if he won't give me the research, I'll just have to take it. You mean breaking into Briggs Industries? Exactly. And how exactly are you going to do that, Primo? Well, the crystal helped me with the rock slide today, so maybe when I go there tonight, it'll help me again. Okay, but how are you going to get there? I'll just leave when Tia Gloria is asleep. Are you sure you can even do this? It's the only option I have left. Getting that research will help me figure out what these new powers are and where my parents could be. Alright, just be careful when you do this. Humberto nods and the trio leave his room. We cut to nighttime as we see Humberto standing a few blocks away from the Briggs Industries building and waits to see if the lights in Briggs' office go off. The lights go off and Humberto begins to walk towards the building. He gets behind a parked car and he sees Jeremy Briggs get inside his car and it drives off. Humberto sees the door is about to close, so he begins to run and gets in before it closes. Humberto is breathing rapidly as he can't believe he didn't get caught. Holy crap. Humberto gets on an elevator and presses the button to floor 45. We cut to a camera room as we see a security guard catch Humberto in the elevator and begins to keep an eye on him. The elevator arrives on the 45th floor. Humberto walks into the hallway looking for both sides to make sure that he is alone. The security guard watches Humberto but can't recognize him because he has a mask and a hoodie on. Where are you going? Humberto makes it to the front of Briggs' office but sees that it's locked. Damn it. Humberto then realizes something. He closes his eyes and just then the crystal begins to glow and Humberto's skin turns into orange and his hands turn into velociraptor claws. He sticks the claw into the lock and it unlocks instantly. Humberto smiles as his hands turn back to normal along with his skin. The security guard looks confused and wonders what just happened. What the hell? He grabs his radio to call it in. All guards, there's an intruder on the 45th floor at Mr. Briggs' office. All units converge to Mr. Briggs' office now. We then see security guards start to grab guns as they make their way to the 45th floor. Humberto is in Briggs' office looking through any files that correlate to his parents. Come on, where are you? He's frantically looking through cabinets until he finds a file under the name Lopez. Jackpot. He grabs the file and opens it to show a photo of him and his parents. He smiles and begins to skim through the pages to find some information. Just then, the crystal begins to glow as his body turns orange and his face turns into one of a velociraptor. He hears the footsteps of 20 security guards coming towards him. Alright, time to go. Humberto puts the file behind his pants and starts to walk out of the office. He walks out and is immediately approached by an armed security guard. On the ground, right now! Humberto puts his hands up and begins to run away from them. The security guards open fire on Humberto as he dodges the bullets and runs down the stairs until he is at a dead end. He runs across the hall to also be at a dead end. He tries to run back until he is cornered by security guards. He looks at the window and gives a worried face until he starts running towards the window. The security guards continue to shoot until the crystal glows again, turning Humberto's head into a triceratops. He breaks the window and begins free-falling. Oh God! Just then, the crystal glows and begins to turn Humberto's arms into those of a pterodactyl, and he begins to fly. Humberto laughs and begins to really enjoy his new powers. I think I'm starting to get the hang of this. Humberto does a loop-de-loop and begins to fly back home. We cut to the next day as we see Tia Gloria getting ready to go to work and she's talking to the kids. Alright, remember, I'm going to be coming home late from the hospital, so there are some tostones y arroz con gandules in the fridge that you can heat up. We got it, Mom. And Humberto, if you decide to go outside tonight, please leave a note. Don't worry, I will. Alright, have a good day, kids. We will, Mom. I love you all. We love you too. Bye. Gloria gives air kisses to all three of the kids and leaves, and closes the door. Eva locks the door and gives a sigh of relief. Okay, now that Mom's gone, what do you got for us, Berto? Humberto runs upstairs to grab the file and runs downstairs and heads to the living room as Julia and Eva follow him. Well, here it is. Humberto passes the file to Eva. So let me get this straight. After you got the file, you flew into the sky. Pretty much. But I still don't understand how that could even be possible. From what I can understand, I have to imagine the type of animal creature for the crystal to work. Or sometimes the crystal will warn me so it will activate and give me that animal part. Well, it's not just that. What do you mean? From what your parents found out, it looks like the crystal landed on Earth at the same place as the asteroid that wiped out all the dinosaurs. So you're saying the crystal has been here for 65 million years? No, the crystal landed here 1,000 years ago, so Briggs was telling the truth about that. But when the crystal landed here, shortly after, it somehow must have absorbed all the DNA of every dinosaur that was killed. So I'm able to turn my body into any dinosaur. Technically, only parts of your body. Yeah, that's true. Okay, we'll do it. Humberto stands up and he closes his eyes and he begins to imagine a dinosaur. Just then, the crystal glows and Humberto's skin turns orange and his hands form into velociraptor claws. Julia and Eva laugh out of joy to see this. Holy crap! Humberto opens his eyes to see his hands. He laughs as well. He closes his eyes again and his hands and arms turn into pterodactyl wings. Whoa. Okay, now try something new. Humberto closes his eyes and the back of his body starts to form a tail. Whoa, you have a tail! An ankylosaurus tail to be exact. But Emo, you literally have superpowers. Yeah, you're just like Spider-Man or the Hulk. Well, it wouldn't go that far. Julian walks right towards Humberto to see his tail. You can literally be an Avenger with these powers. Whoa. What? You got the wrong idea, Julian. Let's not forget the whole reason why I broke into Briggs' office in the first place. Right, to figure out where your parents are. Exactly. Look, these powers are cool, but I'm not Avengers material. I'm never gonna be. Well, I found something interesting. The crystal powers down, and Humberto turns back to normal. He and Julian walk back to Eva. What do you mean? So I've been looking through the file, and I think I found someone who might have an idea of where your parents could be. Who is it? A Dr. Vincent Stegron. Dr. Stegron? You know who that is? I mean, yeah, he was an old friend of my mom. I would see him every Christmas for 5 years. What happened to him? Well, after his wife and son were killed in a fire, he disappeared. We never heard from him after that. Well, lucky for us, your mom went to go see him before they disappeared. She found him? Yeah, in San Diego. He lives at 18 Mountain Avenue. Julian checks his phone to find the location. It's no less than an hour walk from here. We won't need to walk. Eva and Julian look at him confused, while Humberto smirks. We cut to Humberto flying in the air with Julian and Eva holding onto the sides of him. Please be careful! We cut to Vincent Stegron's house as we see Humberto, Eva, and Julian land at his front door. Humberto's arms turn back to normal. That was surprisingly awesome and terrifying at the same time. Are you sure this is the place? Yeah, the file says this is where he lives. Humberto walks towards the door and rings the bell. A few seconds pass and Humberto rings the doorbell again. No one answers, then he rings it a third time and still no answer. Maybe he's napping. Why would he be napping? Who knows, he might be a night owl. Just then, the door opens and Vincent Stegron is shocked to see Humberto. Humberto Lopez? Dr. Stegron? Oh, please, call me Vincent. I haven't been a doctor in years. Please, come in. Humberto, Eva, and Julian enter Stegron's house. Oh, these are my cousins, Eva and Julian. Nice to meet you, Doctor. Pleasure, Doc. Pleasure to meet you both. Stegron leads the trio to his living room and sits them down. Is there anything I could get you to drink? I'm good. No, thank you. Do you have orange juice? Humberto and Eva look at Julian confused. What? Oh, I don't have orange juice, but I can give you water. I'll take a water then. Stegron gives the water to Julian and he sits down in his chair. So what brings you three here? Well, we're here because my parents are missing. What? They disappeared while Humberto was in a coma. How did you get into a coma? There was an accident while we were in New Mexico at one of Jeremy Briggs' dig sites, and it knocked me out for 6 months. And 3 months before I woke up, they disappeared, and according to this file, my mother came to see you. Do you know why? She did come here. She told me that she and Isaac were heading to New York to find something, but she didn't say. Humberto, Eva, and Julian looked confused. But Mr. Briggs said that they were last seen here in LA, not in New York. Don't believe everything that asshole Briggs says. What do you mean? I started working the same time Jessica and Isaac started working for Briggs. Isaac introduced me to my wife, Amelia, and she brought the best out of me. Stegron looks at his wedding ring. Asking her to marry me was the scariest thing I had ever done. We cut to a flashback of Vincent getting married to Amelia. He smiles as he sees the love of his life. We see Isaac as the best man and Jessica as a bridesmaid. She showed me that the world wasn't just made of science. It was also made of beautiful things. We cut to 6 years ago at a hospital as we see Amelia give birth to their son, Kyle. When my son was born, I became someone completely different. Both of them were my light. But every light can be dimmed. We cut to 2 years ago at night as we see a burning building and firemen trying to put it out as Stegron is screaming and crying towards the building as he sees Amelia and Kyle on top of the building. It collapses and they both fall down with the rubble. Stegron screams as he sees them fall. We cut back to present day as we see Stegron looking at a photo of his wife and child. He sheds a tear as he looks at that photo. Humberto looks down, sad. After they died, Briggs said I was 3 weeks behind schedule on my experiment. The only damn thing that Jeremy Briggs cares about is his research, and he won't stop until he has accomplished his goal. And he will do whatever it takes to accomplish it, no matter the cost. What is he even trying to accomplish? To become the biggest researcher in the world. And he'll lie just to do so. Humberto leaves the living room and goes out to the yard, and Eva follows him. We cut to Jeremy Briggs looking over security footage to see Humberto steal the file and fly away. Just then, a guard walks in. Sir, we have a location on the intruder. Good. Let's go get back what's mine. We cut back to Stegron's house in the backyard as we see Humberto is pacing back and forth and Eva comes to look at him. I know what you're thinking, Humberto. What, that Briggs has been lying to me this whole time? I know you're upset. I am. But it's not because of my parents being missing. It's because Briggs lied to me. I know. But now that we have this information, we can start building a timeline. Look, I know you want to act like you're a detective and act like this is some sort of mystery from Scooby-Doo, but we're not dealing with the man behind the mask. We can't build a timeline from these events. First off, I'm not treating this like Scooby-Doo, and second off, we need all the necessary information to help us figure out where your parents are. Just then, Julian runs into the yard. Guys, you might want to see this. Humberto and Eva follow Julian back to the living room to see that Briggs Industries cars are pulling up. They see guards get out of the cars and surround the front of the building. Shit. They see Briggs get out of his car and grabs a bullhorn and speaks into it. Humberto Lopez, you're in contact with Vincent Stegron, the man responsible for the destruction of my facility in California. The hell is he talking about? He's talking about this. Stegron begins to transform into his monster form, and Humberto looks out of shock to see Stegron as he launches himself through the house and begins to fight Briggs' men. The trio look in shock as we cut to black.